So how is Las Vegas? Please stand. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'd like to thank everyone for coming this evening to our Board of Aldermen meeting. The first thing on the agenda is a continuation of the ground hearing for business license at 1045 Stone Hill Highway. The aldermen have received a packet of information, and they've had this for several days now, and I believe they've read it. And what I'd like to do is start over here on this end with Dave Fairbrother, Alderman Fairbrother. And if there's comments on anything, maybe you could make your comments. We'll work all the way around. And then if there's further comments and so on, then we'll call Mrs. Brown forward, and she can make any comments she needs to make, and then we'll resolve the matter. Dave?
Well, I've looked over everything. I listened to Brown's talk here at our last, when we had our meeting and everything. I think it's understandable what has taken place. I think the Browns are trying very hard to come into compliance. We were given 3 options by the lawyer. I think the third option that Dave suggested is probably the best way to go. I think, you guys still got a little way to go, but bring it up, please do. But I see no reason at this time, I personally see no reason at this time to pull their license. I think if we go with the third option that Dave suggested, I think that would be the best.
Maybe we should read the third option for Mrs. Brown's benefit. Dave, could you read it, or do you have it?
Yeah, well, and of course, the options are as unlimited as any of the individual aldermen can think of words to put in a motion, But basically, to remind everyone, the issue that was before the board was whether or not the business license that had been issued to the Browns, in which they're operating under, should be revoked. And so, one option that you have is you could make a motion to revoke the business license. Another option that you have is you make a motion that the business license shall not be revoked. I think if you wanted to be more specific, you could say that what Dave is referring to in option 3 is make a motion that it shall not be revoked. However, Mark Wallace, the zoning inspector, should monitor the property and make any investigations and request information as he sees fit. And then the Browns would cooperate with Mark to ensure that the zoning laws continue to be met, and in particular that this owner-occupied residency requirement continue to be met. So the suggestion was, at least if you put that in the motion, then it's in the record and in the transcript, and everybody can look back at the hearing and remember what was said.
Okay, thank you. Brian?
I feel about the same way. I think that they're making the effort to come into compliance, and that would be a great thing. And I think we just need to make sure that they stay in compliance, since there's always opportunity to change situations. So that's kind of how I feel.
Bruce?
I'm on the same page. I think they've pretty well explained what was going on, and I'm all in favor of letting them continue on.
Susan?
I agree. After reading the transcripts, we should let them go ahead and proceed, and then have Mark monitor.
Okay, well, that's that's a unanimous decision. Do you want to say anything, or do you want us to vote? It looks like it's pretty much approved to continue on your license to stay. If you want to come forward, you should come up and talk. If not, we can vote.
I guess.
Please.
Will you raise your hand? I did. I guess my only question would be, what does that entail for Mr. Wallace and for me? That's, I think we need to be clear.
Well, I think it's in the, you want to read it again, Dave?
Well, and she's probably talking about, let me back up. Our code says this already. And as I explained to the alderman, to say that Mark shall monitor the property and make investigations and request documents as he sees fit, and that you'll cooperate with that, that's straight out of our code.
And request what again?
Whatever he may ask. And then he can do that with any bed and breakfast property. So, if he determines or he catches wind that you haven't been there in a month, starting, let's say from September to October, nobody's been seen around the house, and he calls you and you have a conversation about it, and you tell him that you abandoned the B&B idea, that you went back to driving a school bus in Arkansas, well, then he probably recommend to the board that the license be revoked.
Okay.
Or if you say, no, we're still there, and he may say, well, then can I see a copy of your actual driver's license that you got instead of the temporary one that
I
was.
have it.
Well, I understand
You want
that.
it?
But I mean, it can be up to him just to ask you for, for evidence or proof that that's still your primary residence.
Okay.
But I think that a suspicion is going to have to be needed first, right? I mean, if like I said, if nobody sees you or your husband at the house in 2 months, well, then you'll probably start looking into it.
Who's nobody? See, we don't even know where this came from, so that concerns me. That anybody,
Well, it concerns me that it concerns you because.
well, it concerns me that anybody can call and accuse you of
I don't
anything.
think that's what he means. I think.
But I mean,
if-
that's what happened.
But if somebody did call, it would be Mark, it'd be incumbent on him
Right.
to actually make some investigation to see if whatever they claimed is actually true. If he drives over there and maybe asks a neighbor, or says, oh, she's here, or she's here now, or she was here and she went to the store. She's
Or if
been in and out
if
a
you
lot.
change your VRBO ad or wherever you have it back to full house rental and check in with whoever, I mean, it was a lot more than, that was just as much or more the reason for the suspicion as it was neighbors talking to Dave. It was that
Right.
and then you changed it, which was good, and then you applied for a Missouri license, which was good. I don't know if you would have applied for a Missouri license had all this not come up. Maybe you would have.
Well, I would probably have to keep my CDL
So,
active. I can't have an Arkansas CDL and be living in Missouri. They're a little more strict about CDLs. But I guess, my question is, this all kind of came out of the blue, and we went to great lengths and expense to investigate instead of just somebody coming to us or calling us on the phone like Trish did. That's how I'd like to see it handled, not another hearing, full-blown, it's just not necessary. You know
Well,
what
I
I mean?
think that's probably the way it would be handled, but Mark would be able to do this without calling you before this full hearing.
Right.
He would be able to determine on his own whether or not everything was still.
Great.
And so
Perfect.
that's what it's talking about,
Great,
okay?
right. I'm fully on board with that.
All right, now, do I have a motion to,
I will make the motion based on choice number 3, or door number 3 that Dave
Okay.
offered.
all right? Do we have a second?
I will second the motion that the Browns business license shall not be revoked. However, Mark Wallace, our city zoning inspector, shall continue to monitor this property and make such investigations and request such documents as he may see fit, and the Browns shall cooperate with the investigations and request to ensure that the requirements of the city's zoning laws are being met.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion's carried. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jim.
Now, David, you see anything
yeah, we will have a written order for decision
Okay.
that you'll get, so. you
Okay,
have
and I
to file.
pick that up, or it comes in the mail?
We'll probably call you and offer that you can come pick it up if you'd like.
That's fine.
Thank you. Okay, the next order of business is the mayor's report, and I will go with this. It's not too long this time. I will start with the sales tax holiday. We have a sales tax holiday during a 3-day period beginning at 12:01 a.m. on the first Friday in August and ending at midnight on the Sunday following. There will be a sales tax holiday for clothing, personal computers, and school supplies. So that's the announcement on that. And here's my report. This morning over coffee, I read a Facebook business report about our current president's unemployment figures and the millions of people formerly on welfare who are now working. Immediately, there was a post that attacked the figures, saying the president had called these calculations fake news when the former president reported it. It was on. Back and forth it went, round after round, each one nastier than the last. I finally closed the page. The meal was not worth the indigestion, in my opinion. Let's not bring this type of bickering home to our beautiful small town. The city reports results, good and bad, and stands by our reports. Now, just like the national news, oftentimes they're attacked and then someone steps in and defends them, and then they're attacked again, and so on. This leaves a bad taste in people's mouths. Unfortunately, the national news cycle seems to be moving to our city. I hope we can stop it. But maybe that's just what people do these days. Let me repeat a few of the initial city news reports with further explanation to help people understand. Budget numbers are not correct. This is obviously not true. Our budget numbers are always correct, accurate, and we have a long-standing history that goes back well before I was mayor. Our budget numbers are audited annually by independent outside auditors, and they have been found to be without flaw. Sometimes a false impression can be given if budget numbers are used inappropriately. Updates to our B&B ordinances will restrict B&B owners. This is not the purpose. The reason we are updating these ordinances is to improve our ability to enforce them and hopefully avoid any more lawsuits. These redefinitions are a result of comments received during a recently ended court injunction. Ameren initiates rate reduction. While not entirely untrue, and actually it is true, further explanation is necessary. Recent federal legislation reduced corporate income taxes, and the State Public Service Commission told Ameren they could not keep the windfall. They were required to pass it along to ratepayers that paid it in the first place. That is what caused the recent reduction of about $6 a month. Our electric supplier, MOPEP, as well as all Missouri electric co-ops, are not-for-profit, so they do not pay federal corporate taxes. While Ameren has been charging its ratepayers these taxes, MOPEP is not. Thus, no rate reduction for MOPEP. Our electric customers never had to pay these taxes in the first place. Ownership of the Visit Herman website continues to be challenged. Ownership of this website has been a point of contention for many years. However, legal research by the city attorney and an intellectual property specialist indicates that the city has a much stronger ownership claim. This website is extremely important because all advertising expense directs potential visitors to the site, and ownership therefore is critical because the results of the website operation are the city's responsibility. The city's track record regarding use of this site is excellent. The past 3 years have seen record amounts of lodging revenue. Tammy Bruckeroff has been given this management responsibility and is performing well, extremely well. The street department is not working on the streets. This is not true. The street department is busy getting streets, curbs, and gutters ready for the next round of newly budgeted street repairs. The city is not cooperating with the chamber. Here's some important facts regarding the city's cooperation efforts with the Chamber of Commerce. The tourism tax The authority for assessing, collecting, and spending the tourism lodging tax is given by the state to the city of Herman. The city is required to set up and maintain a tourism commission to advise the Board of Aldermen on matters regarding this tax. This tax must be spent on promoting tourism, and oversight of the spending is also delegated by state statute to the city. Herman Tourism Commission is spending of the $175,000 annual tourism tax collection is overseen by the Herman Tourism Commission. Last year, we put 2 Chamber of Commerce directors on the Tourism Commission, Karen Hild and Linda Miskell. Tammy Bruckroff of the city and Melissa Lensing of the Chamber are also integral parts of the budgeting committee. These changes were made to ensure that the Chamber is strongly represented in the budgeting and spending process. I am not personally involved in that. Tammy and Melissa have done a wonderful job of managing tourism promotion for each and every business owner. I have complete trust in these two and in our entire Herman Tourism Commission. Fiscal year 2018 was a record year for tourism tax revenue and collections, as was the year before. The city and chamber are obviously doing something right. That's my report for tonight. And now we have the city administrator's report.
Later this week, I'll be attending the MIRMA conference at the lake. Last week, I attended the Brownfield conference, and then along with the Public Works Director, attended a workshop on funding for water and wastewater projects put on by the Missouri Department of Natural Resources. Quick Public Works update. The gas department has solicited bids for a main extension and will be working on that. The water department is working on meter changeouts and repair the leak at the park. The electric staff will be spraying and clearing easements, changing meters, and replacing lights around town. Park department is still mowing and weed eating. The city street department laid some asphalt on West 10th and Stone Hill Highway, and will continue on that project for the next 2 days. There is another cutout that needs repair on East 13th. They will start their work on Thursday. I spoke with a MoDOT engineer regarding the chip and seal work that was done last week by Chester Bross. MoDOT is still in the process of determining what went wrong. The engineer told me that the rock that was used was very slightly out of the recommended specs, but not enough to cause any problems, and that MoDOT engineers are doing an analysis of the oil next. He wanted to reiterate that the contractor is responsible for any damages, and if for some reason you are not satisfied with their response, please call MoDOT's customer service number 888-ASK-MoDOT. And after I wrote this report, I had a gentleman come in and ask why they were doing what they were doing here in town. And so once again, I asked the engineer, and the chip and seal, he said, is to preserve and extend the life of the pavement. Route 100 is starting to get some cracking. If we seal up the cracks, it will double, sometimes more, the useful life of the pavement at a fraction of the price of a new overlay. Most of our chip and seal operations go pretty smoothly. And finally, the recent electric outage. Central Electric sent a message to the city with this explanation. The outage happened east of Highway B in Warren County. Evidently, cows rubbing against a guy wire over decades wore through the wire, it broke, and fell into a hot phase, creating a fault. So you gotta blame the cows. That's my report.
Did they have a barbecue over there?
I
I
don't
don't think the
know.
cows got fried.
No casualties to my knowledge.
Roast beef.
Okay, we have ordinances. Dave, do you want to start with that for us?
All right. Bill number 2018-22, which is on for first reading. An ordinance to amend the Herman Municipal Code to prohibit yard waste on city streets and sidewalks.
Any discussion?
Move to approve.
We have a second? We have a motion.
I'll make a second.
Okay, we have a motion that's made and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's carried.
Next is bill number 2018-23, An ordinance to approve an agreement by and between the City of Herman, Missouri and Donald Magi, Inc. for 6th Street pump station improvements.
I make a motion to approve the ordinance.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion by Susan and a second by Bruce. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion's carried.
Next is Bill number 2018-24, an ordinance to approve a municipal services and material contract by and between the City of Herman, Missouri and Mid-Missouri Concrete Contractors for construction of curbs and gutters.
Is this throughout the city, or is this just a certain area?
One street, East 12th, from Schiller up the hill, not down the hill.
Concrete curbs and gutters are extremely expensive. They can sometimes cost more than the actual paving of the street.
Any more discussion?
I will move to approve. Second.
We have a motion made and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion's
Todd
carried.
didn't say anything about this, but I think just for his sake, could we read it again in case this contractor has a chance to get into town in the next week or two?
The weather's right.
Yeah.
All right, bill number 2018-24, an ordinance to approve a municipal services and material contract by and between the City of Herman, Missouri and Mid-Missouri Concrete Contractors for construction of curbs and gutters.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Motion's made and seconded for second reading. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion's carried.
Thank you.
Now, the next one does, we
Yes.
do need 2 times on it.
Bill number 2018-25, an ordinance to approve a municipal services and material contract by and between the City of Herman, Missouri and Lamkey Trenching and Excavating for a natural gas main bore.
Mark,
Yes.
before we approve this, would you, I've had some questions about this. Would you explain why we bore these lines instead of digging everything up to land?
Well, this one is a little unique because of where it is. It's down in Frayne Creek, basically, across from Highway H. The main is extremely deep there to get underneath the highway. And we're gonna expose that and bore, I'll probably bore from up on top of the hill there at 17th Street, bore down to the main, and then turn and bore west behind the homes in the easement there on West 17th to supply those homes with natural gas.
I just had some questions about, well, why do we hire somebody to do this instead of our crews digging this up themselves? Actually, the question answers the question because you don't have to dig everything up. You're not destroying streets, you're not destroying yards and everything else. You can, it's almost like magic that they can bring that up where they want to.
And a lot of times we will dig, but because of that initial bore down to the main, down in the creek bottom, that was going to be extremely hard to dig.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we may have it been a little more flat.
Any other discussion? Do I hear a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second?
We have a motion made and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion's carried. Can we read it again?
Bill number 2018-25, an ordinance to approve a municipal services and material contract by and between the City of Herman, Missouri and Lamkey Trenching and Excavating for natural gas main bore.
Move to approve. Move it second read, I'm sorry.
Second.
Have a motion made for second read and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion's carried.
And on to resolutions. The resolution in your packet tonight is a resolution to authorize the execution of an agreement between the City of Herman, Missouri and the Herman Masonic Temple Association, or the Masons, regarding the Caboose and property on the corner of First and Gutenberg Streets. And so this is to finally clean up what's been brought up at the last couple of meetings about everybody, well, at least I, had the understanding that the city owned the caboose, has ownership rights superior to those of the Masons with respect to the caboose. I understand that Tricia ran this by the Masons over the weekend or before the weekend, and everything looked good to them, so we're all on the same page.
So this, in effect, will clean up any of the outstanding controversy or misunderstandings about who owns the property. And we are going to paint it, and we are going to renovate it, so we want to make sure we own it.
And the Masons will be able to continue to use that site for their
And we
function.
absolutely.
They will still have first.
Right, they can use it. I think that was very important. Okay? Any other questions on that?
Nope.
Can I have a motion we approve that?
Make a motion.
I'll second.
Motion's made and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion's carried. Do we have any unfinished business? No, I have some new business. I have one item, and I'm, in our Tourism Commission meeting this morning, I want the board to understand at least that Tammy Bruckeroff is talking with the chamber to try to reach a memorandum of understanding with them about the operation of the website, a joint, who can do what, and so we can get all this behind us and move forward with actually using the website and promoting tourism and do good stuff. So it doesn't require a motion or anything, I just wanted to bring that up, and she is going forward. So she will report back as there's something to report.
She's the one that's gonna be able to do it,
Yes,
not you, or, I mean,
not me, Tammy.
No, actually, I weighed in on it this morning during the meeting, how I thought it should go. She asked that I not do it at the meeting tonight, let her and Melissa talk it over. They were trying to come up. I think everybody, even with the Tourism Commission, agreed what should be done. They just wanted to get the proper wording and talk about it, and then they would bring it to us and the chamber. So, Tammy and Melissa.
no, I
Oh, okay.
understand.
Okay.
I mean, before I left, I thought that was all resolved, and then I find out that it wasn't, and then somebody made this in and that in, that's what I'm saying. You know, from my viewpoint, and maybe I don't have all the facts, is Tammy is in that position, and it should be her that's making these decisions, not other people. That's all I'll say.
I don't think it ever was anybody else.
I'll just leave it at that,
Okay.
without saying more, so I don't create a scene.
All right, that was just FYI for the board. Do we have any other new business?
I have one thing I would like to bring up. Some wonderful people here in town every year have a backpack program for the school. Amy Groundon and Dawn Rose, I think, pretty much spearhead it. They're in need of some more backpacks. It's not an expensive thing for any person to do. It makes you feel pretty good to help out. So anyone that would like to donate a backpack or some supplies or even a little cash to that program, they can surely use it. If you have any questions about it, call Amy Graham at Graham and Electric. But I know they're a few shy of what they want to reach, so anybody would like to donate, please give them a call.
I would like to bring something up. This is something for all of our kids in Herman. The hospital and the city are doing a bike rodeo, which will be bike safety for kids. There will be bike helmet fittings. There will be helmets if kids need helmets. There are bikes that are being donated from our local Lions Club and our Eagles organization. They donated 4 bikes. We're going to give those bikes away to kids. There's free swimming at the pool. There's food. There's s'mores, and it's a lot of fun. And if anybody would like to help, please come and join us, or bring your kids or your grandkids.
When
It's
is
on
it?
August 3rd.
August 3rd.
It starts at 5:30 at the pool, and it's free to all the kids.
Also, along the same lines, the city has a pool party this Saturday night, the 28th. Am I right, Susan? All right. From 6 to 8:30, all city employees, families, kids, grandkids, and so forth are invited, as is our friends in the media and others here. The firemen have been invited. Hopefully we'll have some of them.
Boards and commissions.
Thank you. Thank you. The
That's
boards
this
and
Saturday
commissions,
night?
this Saturday night.
Down the Owensville Fair.
Yep.
Well, that's what it is. and the boards and commissions, any boards, commissions, their families and so forth. So we hope we'll have a good turnout. Last week was Montgomery Fair. This week is the Owensville Fair, and then who knows what's coming after that. Washington Fair.
And the
so,
pool has a lot of pool parties, so it's
Right.
kind of hard to schedule.
So it was, but we will have hot dogs and hamburgers and maybe soft drinks and some other things. And we have maybe some, do we have any door prizes? We have door prizes and so on. So we have the mystery executive chef that I'm hopeful will continue to cook for us.
He will.
Well, you just pretty much cut me out of that.
I
My
did.
grandson's got animals at the Gaston County Fair Saturday.
Sorry, but this has been, we had to pick a time. And it was picked a month ago, wasn't it? Pretty much. Yeah. So anyway, I'm sorry, Dave, we may have to have a new mystery chef.
Oh,
I hate that. But, of course, you're not a mystery anymore.
well, not anymore, no.
But anyway, that's the announcement on that. So please, if you're not going to the fair that night, come by and join us. We have several motions, minutes. Do we have any changes on the minutes?
Second.
Motion's made and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion's carried. Invoices for payment.
I move we pay the bills.
Motion's made and seconded to pay the bills. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Bills are paid. Reappoint Deanne Ells to the Arts Council.
I make a motion to reappoint Deanne.
Second.
We have a motion made and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion's carried. Hire Corey Orr as gas, water, wastewater operator.
Make a motion to hire.
Second.
Motion's made and seconded to hire Mr. Orr. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion's carried. Caterers permits Lost Creek Vineyard, Hermanoff Winery, 10 Mill Brewery, Herman Wurst House, and Stone Hill Winery. Wine and Jazz Festival, Amphitheater, August 18, 2018.
I will move to approve.
I'll second.
Have a motion made and seconded to approve these permits. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion's carried. There being no reports, we have any citizen comments, no citizen comments, and no citizens comments, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Motion's made and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We're adjourned. Connected.
It's been a